Colonial Stadium is the venue as round 18 kicks off in Melbourne in the National Rugby League. It's the Melbourne Storm taking on the visiting West Tigers. For the Melbourne Storm, they have one change to the side named earlier in the week. Brad Watts comes onto the wing for the injured Marcus Bai, out with a knee injury. Their captain and front rower is Robbie Kearns, pressing for a spot in the Australian side to be announced this weekend. And their coach is Mark Murray. For the West Tigers, Mark O'Halloran will make his debut in the centres for the Tigers, and also making his debut for the Black and Golds is Ben Jeffries, their halfback, and former St George and Newcastle player. Their coach is Terry Lamb. It will be the Melbourne Storm in their purple home uniforms, defending the right of screen as Mandel blows time on. Game 1 in round 18. Thursday night football here at Colonial Stadium as Lowry brings it up to a fellow Kiwi, Matt Rua, who stops him just outside the 20-metre line. Mesha gets to dummy half and gives it off to Skandalis. Again, they go to the left-hand side. O'Neill getting past the first tackler, Robbie Kearns. Bradley Galileo turning it back on the inside for Jeffries, who played for the Dragons back in round 4. Probably wishes he didn't, because that round 4 game for the Dragons against the Warriors was a big scoreline for the Warriors. Fell out of favour with the red and whites and has found a home now with the Tigers, and very quickly finds himself in the top grade. The Melbourne Storm get their first use of it. It's Moole who's tackled about 24 out from his own line. Swain comes to Rodney Howe. Short pass away to Danny Williams. The ball comes loose to the Tigers. Lowry has it. It comes to the right-hand side. Luke O'Donnell playing for the first time since round 9. Here's Skandalis. Offload for the second phase. It comes away from Mesha. They stand and offload. Back to Jeffries. A poor pass. Galea has to dive on it. They lost some ground. Still just 30 metres out, though, from the Storm line. Lowry standing again. Taken to ground by Swain, who will notch up surely his almost religious 40 tackles a game tonight. Galea comes through the hands of Simon now. Away to Joel Kane. Put a pass on for Bradley Galileo, who couldn't handle it. Moala could, though. Jeffries can't go with him. And against the run of play, the Melbourne Storm will score first tonight. A simple pass. They put it down. Moala said, "Thank you very much." They have a habit here at Colonial of scoring long-distance tries. Matt Orford from 20 metres out. 20 metres in from the far touchline, strikes it nicely. Joel Kane gets us back underway, and it will come down for Richard Swain, who gives it off to Robbie Kearns. Is he a dark horse or a not-so-dark horse to be named on Sunday night in the Australian team to take on your Kiwi side, Gary Freeman?
I think he's a walk-up start, either on the bench or in the second row, one of the two, but he certainly, I think, will be there for Australia. Now the Melbourne side go wide, and Danny Williams makes a break up the middle. Matt Rua.
He hangs onto it as well. Back to Bradley Galileo, and Gaia has it, and he will find Richard Swain. What a way to celebrate 100 games. Under the posts he scores, and suddenly we've got a 10-0 scoreline. And the fans have found their voice early on here at Colonial. Here's Rua, one of 3 internationals in this pack tonight for the Melbourne Storm side to play the Australians next Friday night. A bad miss by Corfusi, belly straight through. Here is Gaia trying to keep the streak alive. 6 games in a row. Matt Gaia has scored for the Melbourne Storm. Hits this one sweetly as well. And it's 18 points to 0. Danny Williams chasing all the way as it goes through the hands of Jeffries. Over the top to Simon, who hung on to it. Miracle hands. Kept it above the ground after he touched it first time. At first receiver now to Skandalis. Tackled by Swain, 18 metres out. Can the Tigers score their first points? Here's Mesha going from dummy half. Kane was there, he's now a dummy half. Here's Simon, grubbering. Only one chaser, it was Jeffries, and here goes Gaia! Straight down the middle of the park. Luke O'Donnell won't be able to go with him, and Matt Gaia will make it number 2 for the night. And stay tuned, there might be more to come.
Well, that is just unbelievable. That's something I dream of, Wiz.
This one again, over the black dots. Well, they've hardly made a mistake. It's 24 points to 0 after 28 minutes. A fairly quiet night so far for Tim Mander.
We're just holding down just a fraction too long here. Just a bit of a flop there by Robbie Kearns. Just trying to slow the ball down, play the ball down, I should say.
Here's Walker from the tap, taking it up to them inside the 20, offloading as well to Galea. They need to salvage something out of this first half, the Tigers, and this might be their chance. Manu. He's only about 6 metres away. Mesha comes back to the short side. Galea, short ball as well for Runciman, who reaches out. Did he get it down? No, he didn't. He knocked it on over the line, says Tim Mander, who was right there once again.
And two very, very good hit-ups there by Willie Manu. And he just goes to reach out for the line. His elbow's on the ground. He reaches out. Oh.
Now Walker. Just outside the Melbourne 10. Runciman. Slow play the ball and a mistime run. Took the sting out of that tackle for the Tigers. Galea gets to dummy half.
Oh, no!
Stephen Bell was ankle tapped. And a good thing because he was away for another 80-metre try.
Well, they get so close, the West Tigers are scoring a try, and then they just come up with a pass. They probably should have gone to the first man, not the second man. As you said, they're really going to go another 90 metres. They go wide once again here at the Melbourne Storm.
Well, they had a two-man overlap. It still might come for them here as Kearney stays on his feet, looking for the offload. Saylor came in to make the tackle. He still had Moole and Watts outside him. They just can't get the ball in their hands with a bit of space. Swain comes to Robbie Kearns. Oh, hit from Willie Manu. Kearns bounced back to his feet to play it in the one motion almost. He can put a hit on Willie Manu. There's not a whole lot of him. He certainly can time them.
That was an absolutely wonderful hit. In fact, that's a tremendous hit. Have a look at that. He'll need a neck brace, Robbie Kearns, after that. He'll have whiplash for sure. I watched this kid come on against the Broncos the last time the West Tigers went around. I was impressed with him then, and I'm impressed with him now. He's a player of the future. Is he a Kiwi, Wiz?
He is, actually.
Oh-ho.
Watch out.
He is a strong defender. He's made that his trademark, as you said, Glenn, since getting a chance with the Tigers in 2001. And they're working a little bit of space. Joel Kane again doing some very good work. Jeffries. They try and flood the numbers down the short side. Straight through them went Runciman. Oh, poor pass. He had options everywhere and perhaps chose the worst of all.
Well, it just shows you when you don't have a lot of ball, you start to make the wrong options. And there's probably 3 or 4 tries now that the West Tigers certainly have blown. Once again, Runciman thrown. He should have thrown a short ball there. But before that, he went through a great hole where Orford needed to move up and make the tackle, was caught standing still.
Well, the halftime siren sounds, and that will end it. 24 points to 0. I'm sure Terry Lamb is fairly happy to hear the halftime siren sound. He can get back to the sheds and try and salvage something from the first 40 minutes for the Tigers. The Melbourne Storm, such an impressive half of football as they make their way back to the dressing room.
What a moment for her!
The cup is coming back to Australia.
Incredible.
Australia at its best.
Unleash the play in you. It's nerve or nothing.
Hair loss? Consult Advanced Hair Studios Clinic and regain a full head of hair, as did cricket legends Jacques Kallis and Sourav Ganguly and tennis legend Pat Cash.
I love my hair then, still do, and that's why I'm seeing Advanced Hair Clinic. Their amazingly effective treatments have stopped my hair loss and regenerated hair where I was losing it.
Advanced Hair Clinic. They're the world champions in hair restoration. Call Advanced Hair Studio now.
We've been standing together for over 60 years because it's in our nature to support community. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Ash lost 50 kilos thanks to the Man Shake. Dave lost his beer belly without losing all the beers. And Josh dropped the kilos easy and feels better than ever thanks to the Man Shake. Save 25% off today at themanshake.com.au.
If you want to bowl faster tomorrow, you need sports nutrition you can trust today. INT Sports Nutrition is banned substance tested and Informed Sports certified. INT Sports Nutrition, powering tomorrow, today.
Get a read on this summer with 50% off for the first 12 weeks. Enjoy full digital access to your favourite news, plus weekend paper delivery. Call 1800 323 777 today.
The KFC Big Bash League before it ends on February 4th. Feel it live. Tickets on sale now.
Tim Mander ready now to blow time back on. John Simon probably got more sand with the kickoff than he did ball. And it comes down to Stephen Kearney. And he's 25 metres on his own side of halfway line. Swain. Through the hands it goes. Orford. Another pass behind Lavia, who had to stop to retrieve it. Here's Robinson. Some good work coming off the bench. Hitting a strong tackle, though, this time by Trent Runciman. Got as close as any Tiger has tonight to scoring when he dropped the ball over the line. And on the last tackle, Orford it is. Another kick. Not much depth to it. One of those ones he just chips over the defensive line of the opposition. And Saylor will play it for the Tigers. O'Halloran made a clean bust himself in the first half. Joel Kane, perhaps their best player in that first 40 minutes. Shane Walker runs into the shoulder there of Robinson with the help of Henry Perenara. Mesha turns it back for Galea.
Even at the start of the second half, you can see the West Tigers are trying to use the ball just a fraction wider. I think they'd be better off if they could take it off the ruck area and make some yards down the middle of the ruck, because they had 4 or 5 tackles and made about 4 metres.
There's Simon now. Comes away and they put the ball on the toe. Oh, picking it up, Matt Orford, but he was chopped down at the knees by Trent Runciman, who put the kick in. Kearney comes to Lavia, looking to counter-attack straight away. Manu wrestles him to the ground, and they're just 30 metres away from the Tigers' line. Chance to open up this second half as they opened up the first. Howe will play it. Lavia goes to first receiver. Kearns with him. Quick play the ball as well. He bounced off the tackle, got back to his feet quickly. Orford, a pass across the face to nobody, and Corfusi will clean it up for the Tigers.
Just a little mistake there by Matt Orford, trying to go just a fraction wide, but once again the yards made by the Melbourne forwards, around about 40 to 50 metres in that set of 6. And the Tigers need to do plenty of work around that ruck area to try and slow the play of the ball down.
There's Bradley Galileo. Met by Perenara, lost the ball. Orford is there to clean up, and Tim Mander says play on. And the ball was lost after the tackle was completed. Probably should have been a scrum, but it still would have been the Storm's possession anyway. So play on, says Manda.
Manda was looking to the touchy for a call at the same time. He didn't get one. He made the right decision.
Howe to Kearns, and now Kearney. The game he's had tonight. Here's Guy going from dummy half. Of course, healthy to see Matt Geyer in such form at fullback, with Robbie Ross still a couple of weeks away from returning. And the Melbourne Storm do have a very big 3 weeks coming up as they take on the competition heavyweights. Newcastle, Brisbane and Parramatta all coming up in the next 3 weeks. Here's Kane juggling it. Will take it across the dead ball line. 24 points to 0 in favour of Melbourne. Orford, a long pass. It bounces up for Kearney. The last man the Tigers want to see with the ball in his hands. Lavia gives it back to Kearns. Done nothing but impressed tonight. Certainly done his chances no harm of being picked for the Aussies on Sunday night. Robinson to Kearney once again. Standing. Looking for an offload again. Can't get one away. We'll play it back to Aaron Moore. Lavia to Orford. Geyer outside him, gets it to him now. He's standing there wrapped up by Nick Bradley-Getaloa along with Runciman. Last tackle is Swain. Gives it to Orford. Short ball for Rodney Howe, who gets a rare 4-pointer. Matt Orford looking to keep this perfect kicking record tonight intact. Once again, a good strike. It hooks away, though. Simon putting the chip in over the top for absolutely nobody. No way they were going to be able to get through and put any pressure on Matt Geyer.
Once again, the kick, really, he brings it back to the halfway where the ball was kicked from John Simon. No pressure being applied to the Melbourne Storm players at all.
Williams to Kearney. Roy Manu going from the field, carrying an arm there. That's a bad sign for the Tigers. Here's Lavia. Picked off by Cherry Mesher as the Storm were looking to build something on the right-hand side. They still come this way. Here's Perenara. Malala outside him. Perenara! The shake and the bake. And 4 points. There didn't seem much room for him to be able to work in. The Tigers all dropped off waiting for the pass to go to Moala, but Perenara hang on to it. Once again from wide out, he's back on the 20. Nudging up there towards the 68% mark in his short career as a goal kicker. Short career in first grade at this point even. Another good one though, scrapes inside the left hand upright. Jeffries gives it off to Lowry. A rare chance at this end of the field in the second half for the Tigers. Barely had a sniff of scoring a try. Here's Galea. He's 25 out from the Melbourne Storm line. Tyron Smith. What are they working for this time? A decoy play. Smith kept going, flung it backwards. Lowry got there between the legs of Saylor. Now Moore puts it on the toe. Orford is there. He toes it again. So does Aaron Moore. It's World Cup soccer time. Moore gets to it, picks it up and scores for the Storm. There would be a first-year rugby league coach in 2001, Terry Lamb. Is he thinking about that at this particular moment? Howe, Williams, short ball away to Bowden. Bounced off the defenders and got it back to Rodney Howe. He'll play it at the halfway line with one left in this set of 6. Orford comes to Geyer. Another grubber in behind the line for Brad Watts. What speed! What pace!
What a try!
From the Melbourne Storm. Talk about showtime. Take the hat round and make them pay double. It's 44 points to 0. Another good strike. Another one. Right down the middle of the fairway. Cut-out ball.
By the forwards.
Everybody trying it on now. Here's Moore almost getting away from O'Halloran again. Plays it back to Watts. Comes to Bowden. Short pass away to Williams, who the big fend there in the face of Cherry Mesher. They're looking for the half century. Orford goes to Lavia, chipping over the top. Oh, trouble for Kane. Got an awful bounce. It comes back to Ben Rorty. There you go. There's 50. Oh, it's party time now.
Melbourne Storm have never held a side to nil. And, of course, the West Tigers have never been held to nil. So, a few things going the way of the record books tonight, maybe.
Orford grabs 2 more for himself and his team. Spent a fair bit of time on the bench in this second half. Of course, his first game back since round 9, probably short of a gallop, quite obviously. Walker, along with Joel Kane, perhaps one of the Tigers' best tonight, Shane Walker. Jeffries to Galea. Cut-out ball for Joel Kane. Hit a good tackle by Fafita Moala.
And Terry Lamb just loosening there the tide. Just a bit of frustration. Another drop ball going against it. And it has been their mistakes. They actually opened up a little hole here on that right-hand side against the Melbourne Storm's defence. They started to play that up and in, which they usually do, Melbourne. Once again, just coming up with a drop ball length, and they needed a hold.
Yeah, I just thought they showed some desperation there. I'm certain that they've got that in their mind. They want to keep this West Tigers side to nil.
And Perenara off the back of the scrum win. 15 out from his own line. They do have big run coming up, the Melbourne Storm, with those games. Newcastle, Brisbane and Parramatta. Here's a big run being made by Rorty. He'll give it back to Matty Guyatt. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3. Hat-trick time for the fullback. 56 points to nil. And that record margin is now just inches away.
Well, Russell Bowden took the ball forward, didn't he? Did a magnificent job going to the line, put the pressure on the West Tigers straight away. Watch this. Head gets through Luke O'Donnell's tackle, and Smith gets the ball back inside there to Swain, picks up Roy. Watch this. Goes on the outside, get outside, run cement, and then Lee goes straight to the fullback and Kane drops the ball short back into Matt Geyer. I'll tell you what, he has absolutely had a blinder here tonight. Number 3.
2 points, 58 to nil.
They're just 2 away now from that 60-point margin they racked up last year. Just under 5 minutes left. And some bandages and some ice being applied to the knees of Danny Williams and also Rodney Howe. And of course, Rodney Howe has had his trouble with knee injuries this year. Arthroscope not that long ago. And the kick-off again. Come back down to Brad Watts. Here's Robbie Kearns. He's still going forward, taking them with him. Swain giving it back to Russell Bowden. He's away again. Orford to Peter Robinson. And the Tigers are still trying. There's not much left in the tank, obviously, is there? Here's Lavia. And they're just being opened up at will. Swain. No mercy being shown by the Storm. They are desperate to rack up a big score. Forward pass from Kearns. Well, the desperation of the Melbourne Storm to keep just adding those little twists of the knife.
Oh, they do it so good, don't they? In the ruck area, then once they take control of the game, I tell you what, they are very, very hard to contain. You can see there the missed tackles there mounting for the Tigers, 37 in total. It's a daunting task to miss that many tackles against these blokes.
And Tyron Smith will play it, and it comes back to Luke O'Donnell. There's Brewer again, still hitting them as hard as he was in the first couple of minutes.
Well, that was a bit of a square up, that tackle to Luke O'Donnell by Matt Brewer. A couple of things were happening in back play before.
Is that right?
Yes.
Jeffries. Across the face it goes to Walker. Galea. Mesha going from dummy half, but picked off by Robinson. Their marker defence terrific tonight, the Melbourne Storm. Last tackle. And it's Jeffries. Goes high to the air. Matt Geyer will watch it bounce. Didn't want to take it on the full, and he will get it back now from the 20-metre line. Well, they've got 2.5 minutes left. Can they crack this 60-point barrier? What odds, Gary?
I think they're very, very good. I think it's even money.
Maybe a shade of red even. Here's Bowden. Stepping like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. I think he'd like the comparison as well, Rusty. Exactly a shy, retiring wallflower type, is he? Swain has knocked it on here. In their desperation to keep it alive and find the last try, they've put it down again.
The forwards have certainly paved the way. The likes of Howe, Rua, Kearney, Williams, Robertson, Bowden, Rorty that's come off the bench. They've been absolutely outstanding in that ruck area. The Tigers have had no answer whatsoever.
They've just got 90 seconds left to hang on to this nil scoreline they've got going at the moment for the Tigers. Here's Tyron Smith. They've hardly made a line break in the second half. They made 3 in the first half. They have just been dominated throughout. Here's Luke O'Donnell. He puts it down. It comes to Warren Mill. They won't stop this man. And there's the record. Inside the 10 he goes. 62 points to 0. And the biggest winning margin ever for the Melbourne Storm, but Tim Mander wants to make sure about it.
That the steal, if it was a steal, was one-on-one, and that there wasn't a knock-on after he did that.
Of course, we've seen plenty of instances in recent times. Think back to what happened during the State of Origin series when Jamie Ainscough scored a try in that game too for New South Wales when he was trying to make a tackle as opposed to playing the ball. Oh, I think it might be offside. It is a try. Well, certainly there was contact with Matt Orford's arm, and Aaron Moore was in front of him at the time. But no accidental offside, if you like. The 62 points to 0 it is from Matt Orford. We'll add an extra 2 to make it a 64 scoreline here. Here it is again, the ball from Jeffries to O'Donnell down the outside. There's the ball going to ground. Moore said, thanks, I'll have that. And with nobody at home, they certainly weren't going to get anywhere near the speed stop. And they've racked up their biggest winning margin in their 4 years in the NRL. It's been a sad old night for the Tigers. If there were players playing for contracts for next season, hard to think of anybody who's impressed, apart perhaps from Joel Kane, as Orford sticks it across the black dot. 64 points to 0 at full time. I've lost track of how many tries they scored in that second half, but they certainly scored 40 points. 24-0 at halftime, and they crossed 7 times in that second half.